You are watching No Filter with Debbie. These are my views and opinions. Welcome to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. I'm Debbie Schlussel, and you know what's driving me crazy? The continued adulation over Joe Biden, not just with regard to his speech, his lackluster speech, his milquetoast speech to the joint session of Congress, but also with regard to his numbers that are artificially high because they were artificially low before, and numbers that he's taking credit for, which really are the numbers of Donald Trump. So let's start first with the vaccine and Operation Warp Speed. You may or may not be familiar with Nicole Wallace. She worked for the John McCain campaign. At one time, she was a big time Republican operative. She's not a conservative, she's actually a liberal. She really should never have been a Republican. She's an establishment type who really, if you put her next to a Democrat, you can't tell the difference. In fact, many times she's to the left of the Democrats. That's why she got fired as a co-hostess of The View. Yes, I know, co-host. That's why she got fired. Because she was mostly to the left of these far left hags that are on The View. She was to the left of them. And they hired her to be the faux conservative. Now, a faux conservative cannot be to the left of everybody else. They have to pretend. They have to play act that they're kind of, sort of, maybe on a very cloudy, dark day when you can't tell the difference, a conservative. But they're really not. She didn't play that role. She played far left because that's what she really is. So she hosts a show on MSNBC where she belongs. And here's what she had to say about Tim Scott's speech, but it was really about Donald Trump. Check it out.
Well, this is a speech delivered from a planet where facts don't matter, which is where the current Republican Party resides. So it's really not his fault, but it is his responsibility to get his facts straight. He said this, that Biden inherited a country that had already rounded the bend on COVID. 4,000 people a day were dying in January. So I don't know, again, on what planet we had rounded the bend. And Operation Warp Speed didn't do anything to get a needle into an arm. So a lot of disinformation.
Operation Warp Speed didn't do anything to get a needle into the arm? Is she serious? Really? That's like saying the Bible didn't do anything to make people religious. Operation Warp Speed is the only reason anybody in America is vaccinated. As we have said on this show before, and you know we're right. If Hillary Clinton had been president, if Joe Biden had been president, over the past year, I'm not talking about the 3 months when Joe Biden has been president, but over the past year of 2020, there would be no vaccine right now. We would still be stuck at home. Democrats are barely indistinguishable from Marxists and socialists. There's no difference. They just are the same. Tell me what is the difference. You cannot. Chris Matthews, I was going to say the late Chris Matthews, because basically his political career and his commentating career is dead. But Chris Matthews, who formerly of MSNBC, once asked some Democrat leaders, what's the difference on his one clear moment, on his one moment of lucidity? You know, broken clock is right twice a day. He was right once in a decade. He asked some Democrat operatives on his show, what's the difference between today's Democrats and socialists? They could not answer the question because there is no answer. There is no difference. And any difference that you identify is a distinction without a difference. It's a meaningless difference, a meaningless distinction. Donald Trump is the sole reason anybody put a needle in their arm, anybody who got the vaccine. It is all because of him. Operation Warp Speed is the very reason there was a vaccine. So what is she saying? She's saying, well, Operation Warp Speed developed the vaccine, which is contained in the needle, but it didn't do anything to put the needle in the arm? Really? That's why, on average, 2 million people a day when Donald Trump left office were being vaccinated. On some days, up to 3 million. That's why from the very beginning, at least 1 million people a day were being vaccinated under Donald Trump's watch. Because he had nothing to do with it. Really? Come on. Operation Warp Speed was his operation. He created it. He pushed these companies. He had everything to do with it. And they were so political, they waited till right after the election to announce that they had all come up with vaccines. They didn't announce they came up with vaccines after January 20th when Joe Biden took office. No, it was months before. To be exact, it was more than 2 months before. What is she smoking? She's lying. She knows that. Yes, up to 4,000 people a day were dying. That was less than half of how many were dying before the vaccine. And not only that, but those numbers have come down even more. Not because of anything Joe Biden has done. She can't point to a single thing Joe Biden has done. It is all because of the vaccine. And Donald Trump deserves all the credit in the world for that vaccine, period. Nobody else was behind that push. Nobody, except maybe Mike Pence, who Trump appointed as the head of Operation Warp Speed, as the COVID czar. All right, so there's that. Then there is this, and this was either the day of or the day before I think it was the day before the speech to the joint session of Congress. So I believe this was on Tuesday. This is NBC White House correspondent Peter Alexander. Take a look.
And you chose to wear a mask, sir. You chose to wear a mask. You chose to wear a mask as you walked out here. What message were you sending by wearing a mask outside alone?
By watching me take it off and not put it back on till I get inside.
Do you have any
And do you see how Peter Alexander is like gushing over it? He's smiling a big fat smile because he fed a stupid softball question to Joe Biden and he knew what Joe Biden's answer was going to be. They are propagandists. Who cares if he came out with a mask? First of all, it's outside. Secondly, he's vaccinated. Again, he and his wife, Jill, the not Dr. Biden, have been vaccinated since Donald Trump's presidency, under which they got vaccinated. So this mask is theater, number one. Number two, there is absolutely no reason to wear a mask outside. There is no proven spread of COVID outside. I don't care how many times they tell you that some Trump event at the White House was a super spreader. They have absolutely no proof that it was or that it can be spread outside. In fact, it is very unlikely for COVID to be spread outside. You don't need to be a doctor to know that. There are breezes. You're not in a confined space with dead air. You just aren't. The air is constantly moving. The odds that you will get germs from somebody else and get infected are slim to none. And Peter Alexander, with his mask wrapped below the bottom of his neck, is also a phony. He, too, has been vaccinated from the very beginning. So have all the members of the White House press corps and all the people in the White House staff. It's just phony. It's theater. It's just like what we told you yesterday about the State of the Union, where Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris were both wearing masks, where people were sitting 12 feet apart and wearing masks. They're all vaccinated. They're lying to you. They're putting a fraud over you. They are pimping you. All right, when we come back, that's only half the story. We're going to show you the story of why Joe Biden is getting credit he doesn't deserve and why this economy would be so much better. We touched on this yesterday, but now we have the receipts, and a chef from California has even more information. We'll show you what he has to say, that and more, after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser,
that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness. During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark. Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close. Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling atomic beam flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So we're talking about the numbers, about all the adulation Joe Biden is getting for the economy that is revving back up. But it would be revving a lot more back up if it weren't for his disastrous, destructive green policies that we told you about. We've been talking about them on the show. We went into depth about it yesterday, but now there is more. So this is from today's Wall Street Journal. Household income rose at a record pace of 21.1% in March as federal stimulus checks help fuel an economic revival that is poised to endure with an easing pandemic. All right, so that sentence has two parts to it. Yes, household income did rise 21.1%, but you know who paid for that? You did. The North Dakotan taxpayer, the American taxpayer. Why? Because it was funded with the tax money from the stimulus bill, $1,400 checks that everybody got. And guess what else? It was also funded with the unemployment checks, the hyperinflated on steroids unemployment checks that makes nobody want to go back to work unless you're earning more than that. And you have to earn significantly more than that to want to get out of bed, to spend the money on the gas, to buy lunch, to do all the things you have to do to get out of the house and go to work. And the devil is in those details. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It has to do with the American people financing this. The 21.1% March surge in income was the largest monthly increase for government records tracing back to 1959. Again, why? Did Joe Biden do anything specific for this? No. this largely reflects, again, the $1,400 stimulus checks and also the increase in unemployment. The stimulus payments accounted for $3.948 trillion of the overall seasonally adjusted $4.213 trillion rise in March personal income. There you have it. Spending was also up sharply, increasing 4.2%. This was the steepest month-over-month increase since last summer. Why? Because people got the stimulus checks to spend with, and they're getting that extra boost in unemployment. And until recently, most states do not make you look for work to keep that unemployment. Just starting this week or next week, several states will make you seek out 2 jobs per week, which still isn't a lot when you consider that there are jobs out there. And if anyone says there aren't, we will show you that there are. All right, so all of this is all because of not Joe Biden, but because of stimulus bills and because of the vaccine and because of the unemployment. None of this has anything to do with anything specific Joe Biden has done. What has he specifically done to do this? Nobody can identify a thing. And it says right here, people who receive stimulus money drove up total spending growth by 29% in mid-March compared with the same period in 2019. So this is even more than the year before the pandemic. Remember, the pandemic started in March 2020, not March 2019. Also, that outpaced bumps of 23 and 22 points after the first and second stimulus checks, respectively. Why? Because the checks were bigger. They were much bigger. And not only were they bigger, but the unemployment had already kicked in. All the kinks that people encountered in getting unemployment back in March and April and May and June were ironed out. Those don't exist anymore. None of this, again, has anything to do with Joe Biden. And it would be much better if the people from the Keystone XL pipeline had not lost their jobs, if the businesses that would have relied on that and their business, the restaurants, the hotels, the stores, they're losing out on all that. The economy would be much better. If Trump were president right now, the numbers would be much higher. Why? Because he doesn't have these crazy things with the Green New Deal. He didn't get rid of any pipelines. He also didn't say that we have to cut emissions in half in the next 8 to 10 years. He didn't sign on to the Paris Climate Accords. He didn't say, America, we're now going to sacrifice to subsidize China's world pollution. Joe Biden is doing all of that. So these numbers that he's getting credit for that have nothing to do with him would be much higher but for his actions. Now, let's talk about the jobs. So, we have talked to you before about Chef Andrew Gruel. He's a restaurant owner. He owns a chain of about 23 restaurants, almost all of them in the United States. One is in, I believe, London. It's in the United Kingdom. The rest are in the United States. 8 of them are in California. The rest are in other states around the country. Some of them are franchises. His restaurants are called Slapfish. He's also a judge on the Food Network, on their food truck show, and he's a well-known, outspoken chef. And he became very outspoken during this whole pandemic. Why? Because he's based in California, and his restaurants were forced to shut down. Not just indoor dining, but then his outdoor dining was shut down because apparently they said you can spread COVID through the breezes and the winds. As we just talked about, that's baloney. But he lost a lot from this, and his employees lost their jobs. We showed you, since the show began, we've been showing you his tweets, some of the things he's been saying. This guy is on the money. And when you want to see what's happening to business, look at the small business owners. He's one of them. So he sent out a couple of tweets, and I want you to take a look. All right, so he says, there are no employees available in California. We are paying dishwashers, this is dishwashers, $21, and this is per hour to start. The two main reasons people tell me they won't work. Number one, they are making enough on unemployment and would rather not work. Number two, with schools closed, they can't pay someone to watch their children. And he's got a follow-up tweet to that. Take a look. Not a single person I spoke to says they are scared of COVID. So he's talking about people he's trying to hire. None of them are saying, I'm not going to work because I'm afraid I'm going to catch COVID. They're saying, I'm making too much money on this inflated, on steroids unemployment, and so I don't want to work. And they're saying, it's going to cost me to take care of my children because they're home. They're not in school. We need to stop this, or he's not going to be the only one speaking out. And in fact, he isn't the only one speaking out. This appeared on Sunday in the Wall Street Journal also. It's an Associated Press story, actually. And the headline is, Restaurants Serve Up Signing Bonuses, comma, higher pay to win back workers. With job openings above pre-pandemic levels, so there's more jobs than there were before the pandemic. You can't say there aren't jobs. They're just not jobs you want to do when you're being paid to stay home and make more than you would working. Eateries from McDonald's to Wolfgang Pucks Spa are battling for new hires. So I'm not going to read you the whole article. We're only an hour show, but let me just read you a little bit because this article is very interesting. Fast food operators, including owners of Jimmy John's gourmet sandwich restaurants, are offering signing bonuses for recruits. Chipotle Mexican Grill is offering free college tuition to employees who work at least $15 a week after 4 months on the job. Taco Bell is giving paid family leave to company store managers. McDonald's owners are assessing what pay and benefits its U.S. employees most want to better pitch the Golden Arches as an employer. Atlanta-based restaurant operator Daniel Halpern, who runs 50 TGI Fridays and other restaurants, recently increased hourly wages and is offering employees immediate pay. He said he is still short 900 workers. You have a long wait and empty tables. We just don't have enough servers. This is what's going on. What he says and what Chef Andrew Gruel of Slatfish says. There are plenty of jobs out there. You heard that. Above the amount of jobs there were before the pandemic. And they cannot fill them because of the unemployment that is way too generous. And I don't blame people for collecting it. Why not? Who is going to turn that down and work? You have to be nuts, or you have to really want to get out of your house and have the work ethic. Most people do not have that, especially when they are conditioned not to have it. This is how you condition people not to have it. The only way you condition them to have it is you cut the unemployment benefits and say, get back to work. Joe Biden and Congress are not doing that. The states are not doing that. All right, when we come back, we have more on what's going on with COVID and Black Lives Matter, and we have our Friday NoFilter movie reviews. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed, soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating. It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not one, not two, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single-game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
Who do you trust with your digital life? Not all cloud backup providers keep your data truly private. Beck Cloud Backup uses advanced multi-layer encryption to keep your family photos, videos, and sensitive business documents secure and only for your eyes. Your Beck Lightband Internet service already includes 50 gigs of free storage to keep your digital life safe and secure. Call us at 701-475-2361 to start using your Beck Cloud Backup today.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So just a little more from this Associated Press article that appeared in the Wall Street Journal on Sunday. This is, or I believe it was in the print edition Monday, this is why people are not going back to work. It says here that supplemental federal unemployment benefits of $300 a week, so that's on top of what people are making in unemployment. So if they're getting $385 a week, up to $400 in some states, and then they get an extra $300, they're making about $700 a week from unemployment. You're not making that even at $15 an hour after taxes at a lot of these places. And don't forget, a lot of these people forget about taxes. They're not thinking about that because taxes get taken out of your paycheck right away. On unemployment, they don't take it out right away. They wait till the end of the year to see what's going on. And then they send you the forms and you have to report this. So that's one thing. The other thing is they just are not making as much. Not all these places are paying $15, $16 an hour. Some of them are, and they still cannot get people. Listen to this. Some IHOP owners, we all know IHOP, International House of Pancakes, said they can't bring back late night service because of a lack of servers. Food service job postings on Indeed.com in mid-April stood 16.2% higher than in February 2020. That is the highest number of openings for servers, cooks, managers, hosts, and other restaurant jobs since the pandemic began. You're not going to be able to fill those jobs when you're paying people to stay home. And as they say, that this extra $300 a week with federal and average state unemployment benefits can and often does surpass the weekly pay of an employee working 40 hours at $15 an hour. And aside from that, the median hourly wage for a fast food worker in mid-2020 stood not at $15, but at $11.47. Again, I'm not advocating, as we have said on this show, we don't advocate raising the minimum wage. All that will do is hurt the economy, raise all the prices, people will lose their jobs, and restaurants will switch to more robotics and automated kinds of processes to replace employees. They're just not going to pay that. But we need to stop subsidizing it so that people will go back to work. All right, now, there is more than that. All right, so Wolfgang Pucks Spa goes in Beverly Hills. Servers can earn $100,000 a year with tips. They are struggling to recruit workers. And the manager, or actually not the manager, the owner, Wolfgang Puck, the famous chef, celebrity chef, I don't think we should pay people to stay home and not work if there are jobs available. Amen. He is absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, this is Portillo's Hot Dogs, which is based in Illinois and has restaurants in Arizona, Michigan, Florida, and other markets. They're paying $250 hiring bonuses, and they still can't get people for their 63 restaurants. Jody Reski, Portillo's Vice President of Talent, we are absolutely struggling to get people to even show up for interviews. Of course, we're paying them not to show up. We are paying them to stay home. That's just the way it is. It's got to change, or the economy will never come back fully to the way it was. It just won't. And then once Joe Biden's Green New Deal policies hit, it's going to be a lot worse. And it already is. We just are not seeing it because of these numbers. All right, so there's that. Now, more related to this in the COVIDiacy category is the whole thing with the vaccines. All right, so you remember that about a week and a half ago, they halted the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Why? Because out of roughly 7 million people, there were 6 or 7 women, mostly women, who got blood clots. And not all of them died even. 6 or 7, let's say they had all died. That is still statistically insignificant. It is negligible. 1 in a million. That is nothing, but they halted it. Well, guess what? Now people aren't taking vaccines anymore, not just Johnson & Johnson. Take a look. Look at this tweet. All right, so after the Johnson & Johnson vaccine pause, daily vaccination rates plummeted. All right, look at the graph. And look after the pause, that dotted line on the right side of the graph, April, where it says April 22nd, 2021. And then look after that. The rates have gone way down for all age groups. These are all the age groups. The only age group that went up was 0 to 17 years, but under 18 years. And that group doesn't really get vaccinated right now. If you're under 16, you're not getting vaccinated. So the numbers went way down. This is what happens when you have fear-mongering. This is the real trust the science stuff, and they don't trust it. It's not trusted when you say we have to pull it from the market for no reason, and it's not trusted when you have members of Congress and the vice president and the Speaker of the House and the president and members of the press corps all wearing masks and socially distancing when they're all vaccinated. You're putting fear into Americans, and also that's another reason they're not going to return to jobs, although we showed you that Chef Andrew Gruel said that they will not. All right, when we come back, we will show you more of the fear-mongering, more of the nanny state absurdity. We'll have our NoFilter movie reviews and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money.
So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more. Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
He once won a spelling bee in an ancient language that he did not speak. He is the only man to ever earn extra credit on an IQ exam. His academic degrees are considered legitimate spending currency in 22 nations, 2 principalities, and at Chick-fil-A restaurants in the United States and Western Canada.
I do not always engage with education programming, but when I do, it is the Dr. Duke Show.
Stay educated with the Dr. Duke Show, weekdays at 4 p.m. on Beck News.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So a few weeks ago, Michael Osterholm, who is Joe Biden's, one of his top advisors on COVID, was one of the top advisors to his campaign as well, was on Meet the Press. And I want to show you some quotes of what he said, even with the vaccine. It's more of the same than anti-state. So Chuck Todd, the host of Meet the Press, asked him about what was going on with COVID. And he said we're in a Category 5 hurricane status with regard to the rest of the world. We are. The cases are going down, and they were already going down when he was on. This is like 2 or 3 weeks ago. He said, in terms of the United States, we're just at the beginning of this surge. We haven't even really begun to see it yet. All right, when was the last time you watched the news and heard about the hospitals being overwhelmed with patients? It's been a long time. It's not happening. He's just out of touch with it. All right, let's take a look at the next screen of what he had to say. All right, so he said, in some instances, it can actually evade the immune protection from the vaccine or from having previously been infected. This is about the variants. The eek that you're talking about, eek meaning eek, a mouse, that you're talking about, that particular, I guess it's not eek a mouse, it's a variant, sorry. It's still, I think it's like eek a mouse. That particular variant addition is one that does evade the protection of the vaccine or natural infection. But Chuck, I'm even more worried about what's coming down the pike over the next several years. All right, so basically don't leave your house, stay home forever. And the thing is that we haven't seen anything of what he predicted. The variants have not created more cases. The hospitals are not struggling now. The cases have gone down in every state, except the states that have the most strenuous mask requirements, like Michigan, California, and New York. And even Michigan, they're going down. All right, let's take a look at the next screen of this Dr. Gloom and Doom. Well, let me just give an example on the airplane flight. When you get vaccinated, it's like buying a fireproof suit that works 90 to 95% of the time, but it doesn't work all the time. So why would you want to walk into a big fire if you don't have to? And please note, this B117 variant, the one that we've talked about, the one from the UK, just as we've talked about how it's now 50 to 100% more infectious, it causes more severe illness 50 to 60% of the time. This is almost like having a whole new pandemic descend upon us. Have we seen that? Has that happened? No, the cases have gone down. He was predicting gloom and doom just a few weeks ago. It's not happening. He wants it to happen. And he's saying, oh, you know what, the vaccine doesn't really always work. You know, you're wearing a suit into a fire, the suit doesn't work, you're going to get burned. Why would you want to walk in the fire? So why get the vaccine? This is what they're doing. They don't believe in the vaccine. They don't want people to get the vaccine, even though they know it's working. Why? Because they will lose their celebrity status. They will lose their power over you and me. All right. I think we have one more screen for this. All right. In the meantime, please understand this B117 variant is a brand new ball game. In fact, right here in Minnesota, we're now seeing the other aspect of this B117 variant that hasn't been talked about much about, and that is the fact that it infects kids very readily. That's funny because I didn't hear anyone in Minnesota say, you can't protest outside the Derek Chauvin trial. You can't protest and engage in looting and violence all over right now because of the B117 variant. They didn't say that, and there haven't been the increase in cases. This is just gloom and doom. Again, they don't want to lose their grasp and power over you. They want to maintain it and be able to use it against you forever. All right, like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Don't forget, stay home forever. This is the Biden administration. This is Fauci. This is Osterholm. This is everybody. They don't want you to go to work. They don't want America to open up. All right, now, take a look. We have some graphics on the masks and what's going on. So we have a tweet regarding California versus Texas, all right? This is a guy I look at his tweets. He's really good on this. ENMSC. I think it's for South Carolina. I'm not sure. But ENMSC has a lot of these graphics, and he makes a lot of great points. So Gavin Newsom said that Governor Abbott of Texas, the Republican governor, was absolutely reckless to lift the mask restrictions and to reopen the Texas economy. Well, look at California versus Texas. So Texas is orange. California's black, and it's doing a lot worse. But both states are pretty much trending the same. And now it's been 7 weeks since the mask mandate was lifted. And Gavin Newsom said it was absolutely reckless. He closed outdoor dining. Look, he didn't achieve anything. Texas is doing better. All right, there's that. Now, we have some tweets and graphics for a couple other states. Let's look at Montana. Look at this. And this is also from ENMSC. It's now 2 months since Montana lifted their mask mandate, and hospitalizations are down 61.3%. And he's saying because masks work. He's being sarcastic. He's showing that masks don't work because after the mask mandate, it went way up. And then when the mask mandate was lifted, it's still going down. And again, remember, this is with the B117 variant that Dr. Osterholm was telling us is the new plague and the sky is falling. All right, let's look at Texas. We've got one on Texas from me in an MSC. All right, it's been a month since Texas lifted their mask mandate and hospitalizations are down 42%. I don't know if there's a better summation of COVID than the chief medical advisor to the president, that's Fauci, you, America, saying he's not sure and confused as to why this is happening. Sure, because he does not trust the science. This is the science. Look at this. He lifted the mask mandate. They said, oh, don't do that. It's gone way down after the mask mandate was lifted. Masks don't make a difference. And it went way up after the mask mandate twice. All right, now, the Washington Post has a very interesting story. And what do they have to say? Well, another symptom of COVID hysteria. People have been cleaning so much to try and get germs off surfaces, even though we know, this was reported in the Wall Street Journal, that your chances of catching COVID from a surface are less than 3%. People are cleaning so much, they're flushing the wipes. And when they tell you wipes are flushable, we know that they're not flushable. and they cause things in drains and dumps called fatbergs or fatburgers. And the drains are getting much more clogged now than they were, and the pipes and the public utilities because the public drain systems because of these fatbergs, because of the increase in the wipes and this hysteria about germs. All right, now, we've got this video. Check this out. This woman on wearing masks. And we just showed you they don't work, but take a look.
Can you guys just wear a mask? Can you please just wear a mask? I'm really over this. I'm really over it. Can you please wear a mask? Thanks.
Please get help. All right, take a look at this swimmer. Look at this video. All right, look at this. The person is in a pool swimming, and it's not even a large pool, with a mask. That's not going to keep anything out. This is the hysteria, the stupidity, and we've got one last pick, and that is man's best friend. So take a look at this. Who does this? Where is people for the ethical treatment of animals when you need them? I pity those dogs, and I pity the fool. All right, when we come back, it's Friday, No Filter movie reviews, that and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree dental card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree dental card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree dental card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree dental card, you save $525. The Carefree dental card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-5739 to receive your Carefree dental card information kit. 1-800-416-5739. Call now.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground. Enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until Nano. Call now and you'll get your Nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-3815.
Beck Communications is hiring. Beck Communications is now seeking qualified applicants for promotion commercial producer position in our Bismarck Beck location. This position will assist Beck News and Beck Sports. To view the job details, visit www.beck.coop. To apply, email your cover letter and resume to careers@bechtel.coop. Beck Communications, making connections that matter.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. It's Friday. It's time for No Filter movie reviews. I get to see most of them before you do, most of them. And here is the rundown and what I thought. So I really, really was looking forward to and wanted to like Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, which debuts today on Amazon Prime. Really wanted to like this. I do like Tom Clancy, but unfortunately, Hollywood has this bad habit of politically correctifying all of his novels. When he has Islamic terrorists, they constantly turn them into Russian terrorists, Russian criminals, and Hispanic narco terrorists. Well, they fell back on the old Russian terrorist thing or Russian evil people thing. I hated this movie. All right, like the first 20 minutes to half an hour were good. After that, it was just all downhill. It's the same old Russia stuff. You know, Washington, the liberals are obsessed with Trump-Russia collusion, even now after Trump has left office. And Hollywood liberals are obsessed with Russia, even after Trump has left office. And it's part of all these plots. It's lazy. Come up with something new, Hollywood. I just thought this was just unbelievable, ridiculous. I wasn't interested. The Russians, yes, they're not the greatest. Vladimir Putin was the head of the KGB, once the head of the KGB, always the head of the KGB, but they're not the Soviets anymore. They're not our biggest enemy. Our biggest enemy is the Chinese and Islamic terrorists. Those are our enemies. Make movies about them, but they can't because they want to sell movies in China and they don't want to offend Muslims and they want to sell movies in the Muslim world. So they're going to resort to this. It's getting beyond boring. Yawn. All right, so my rating for this is half a marks for those reasons. All right, the next new movie is called Truffle Hunters. We've reviewed this on the movie on this show before, back at the beginning of the year when it was in limited release. Now it's all over the country, including in North Dakota theaters. And Truffle Hunters is a mostly Italian movie with subtitles. It's about several different groups of people who are hunting truffles or who are in the truffles business. As you may know, truffles are the very expensive, hard to find mushrooms, and people find them for a living. They sell them for a living. There are truffle connoisseurs. This showed a slice of that life. There's not like really a great plot to the movie or anything, but it's kind of a light, entertaining movie. It's relaxing. It's not bad. My rating for this movie is half a Reagan. All right, now, the next new movie this weekend is called Limbo. I hated this movie. This is a fiction movie that is supposed to present to you what all Muslim immigrants to the Western world are like. They're such nice people, and we're not nice to them, we evil Westerners, and they have no evil intent, and none of them are for terrorists, and they're against terrorism. And they're just nice musicians like the main character in this movie. This was a long, slow, boring movie. It's supposed to be a comedy. I didn't laugh once. It's a slog. I hated this movie, Limbo. And my rating for this movie is 1 marks. When are they going to show us the immigrants who come to this country and to the UK to destroy it? There are a lot of those. Or who come to just sit there and collect welfare. That's what they're doing, all right? They're not coming to pick our lettuce, just telling you. All right, the next new movie is called Virtuoso. Now, Virtuoso is a movie about a hitman. And I kind of enjoyed the movie, but it could have been a lot more exciting. Sir Anthony Hopkins, hires his usual hitman. He gives him this name, White Rivers, tells him to find White Rivers and kill this person, doesn't give him much more information. Is White Rivers a person? Is it a place? Is it a thing? And the hitman has to figure it out. It wasn't a bad movie, but I just thought it could have been a lot more exciting. It was long, slow, and boring. And I figured out the twist to it very easily and quickly. I think it was kind of obvious to anybody who's seen a lot of these movies. So I only gave it half a Reagan, but still, that's a positive review. Anything that is a Reagan, half a Reagan or more, is positive on my scale. And then finally, the last new movie this weekend is 4 Good Days. And I had mixed feelings about this movie. 4 Good Days is about a drug addict played by Mila Kunis. You could barely even recognize her. You barely know it's her. Must have lost a lot of weight to do this movie. She looks terrible. And her mother, played by Glenn Close, has given her a million chances. She's robbed her mother, done all kinds of horrible things to her family, but now she says she's clean. She has to stay clean for 4 days to get this drug to help her, this legal drug to help her get off drugs once and for all. And I don't think I need to see a movie to see how bad drug use is, drug abuse is. I just don't think so, and I wouldn't pay to see it. That said, the acting is very good. It does have a happy ending, but still, it's kind of a dark movie. If you have to see one movie this weekend, I would say see The Virtuoso. That was the best new movie this weekend, in my opinion. All right, now, in the no category, take a look at this, what they are selling for men. Bodysuits, look at this. It also says it's a romper. My producer Josh says, well, I'm a millennial. It's a romper. No, just no. Hard pass. All right. Now, finally, so it is the weekend, and you might be watching Jeopardy. And we know there have been a lot of guest hosts on Jeopardy. I think right now it's Anderson Cooper from CNN. All these hosts have one thing in common. We're told they're diverse. They're not diverse. They're all leftists. In fact, they're all pretty much far leftists. And one of those is Aaron Rodgers. Now, he announced that he wants to leave the Green Bay Packers. And a lot of observers are saying, well, he's just saying that because he's telegraphing to the producers and the owners of the Jeopardy TV show that, look, I'm willing to leave football. I want to become the Jeopardy host. And they say he's a finalist. And I say all of North Dakota and, frankly, all of America should lobby against that. Remember, this is a wealthy, elitist, multimillionaire quarterback who wants the Dakota Access Pipeline shut down. He wants thousands of people to lose their jobs and thousands of businesses that rely on these people for money, restaurants, etc., to lose their shirts. He does not care about you. Don't let him host Jeopardy. I'm just saying, don't reward him. Things aren't always as they seem. See you Monday.